We saw the women for this 10,000 metres walking out of the call room just now. They are now out on the track, gathering around the finish line, being lined up by the officials. It's a huge field. I must admit I didn't approve necessarily of the 27 men in the 5,000 metres final last week. I thought that was too many, and then sure enough, several went down. Eilish McColgan, well, big question marks over her form. The Commonwealth champion over 10,000 metres, silver medalist over this distance in 2022, and bronze medalist in the 5,000 in 2022. There is Battocletti, probably starts as the favourite, won the 5,000 here 4 nights ago in a new personal best, the 24-year-old Italian. She is very, very consistent, great on the country, second in the European cross-country in Brussels last December, and has a great range, 4:03 for 1,500 to that 30:106 she ran in London back on the 20th of May last year, which is a 10,000 metres personal best. But Megan Keith is an athlete that we ought to be looking at very carefully indeed. Megan Keith is the quickest in Europe this year, the 22-year-old Scot, coached by Ross Cairns, runs for Inverness Harriers. I wonder if we'll get a look at her now as we go through this lineup. Very fast, of course, there's so many of them, we've got to. Merkel of Germany, 31:58 athlete. Just 10 athletes in this field have broken 32 minutes. I'm joined here in the commentary box by Olympic silver medalist over 3,000 metres in 1984, Wendy Sly, who will give me her views and thoughts on this one. Eilish McColgan, Wendy, I'll come to you very shortly, but Eilish McColgan has had huge injury problems these last 14 months. She won the Berlin half marathon in April last year, but finished with a hip/hamstring injury and struggled for roughly a year before she could race again. And then she ran in Vienna 16 days ago, a 5K on the roads, and that was a solid enough 15:19 to suggest that she's in reasonable shape. But I wonder what sort of fitness she's got now, McColgan. If she's anywhere near her best, she could push for a medal. She's so talented, the 33-year-old Scot. Battocletti there being introduced to the crowd, the 24-year-old Italian. Jessica Warner-Judd, what can she do? 8th in Budapest over 10,000 metres last year in sweltering conditions in Hungary. And there is Megan Keith, just 22 years old. Won the London 10,000 on the 18th of May, about 3 weeks ago, in 30:36. That's her season's best. She won that London 10,000 again in a very quick time. European cross-country champion at under 23 level last December. Lucan goes here as well, the Slovenian, European under 25,000 champion a few years back. Improved steadily these last 3 years at 5,000. Thompson of Ireland there proudly pointing out her national flag, or this strip on that Irish vest, the 21-year-old. And Diane Van Ez, bronze medalist in the European under 23 5,000 3 years ago from Rotterdam. Coaches kids already, does Van Ez, but 33 starters in this lineup. It's a very, very big field. And the last they get underway, that European record, 29:06. That belongs to Sifan Hassan, who is putting all her energies towards the Olympic Games, of course, in Paris. That was back in 2021. But Eilish McColgan, British record holder at 5,000 and 10,000 half marathon, is the second quickest in history in Europe, 30:00:86. She's run almost under 30 minutes. That was in March last year, just before that injury kicked in during the Berlin Marathon. But of course the big question mark here is whether or not anybody will take on this early pace and push it along, or if it will be a slow, meandering race for the first half. Wendy, if you had a reasonably big kick, reasonably strong finish, and you in this race, presumably you would sit in the pack there and say, no, I'm fine with this, let's just get these laps, let them click by, get them out of the way. Yeah. They've gone through 1K in 30:07. Battocletti in second place, tucked in there behind the current leader. That's Lucan of Slovenia. The rest of them just being dragged along, and already there's separation. That leading group, 30:07 by the way. Well, it's actually 3:07 rather for that first kilometre. It's actually reasonably healthy. It's about 31-minute pace, 31:20 tempo. So all credit to Lucan, the Slovenian. She's at least trying to make it reasonably honest here. I know many people think, well, it's a 25-lap race. Why would you just jog 15 laps? And it's not turning out to be one of those just yet, thankfully. Well, they might all love Tamberi, but at the moment, that breakaway group left of screen, there's 8 athletes in it in this women's 10,000 metres. The other 7 are all loving the athlete Slovenian, the 23-year-old Clara Lucan out in front. She's taken them along at a nice, healthy clip. First kilometre 3:07, second kilometre 3:04. They went through 2K in 6:11. All 3 Brits up there in that leading group. Del Buono is there as well with Battocletti, the Italians in second and third. They are running inspired, of course, like all their teammates over the last few days. But this is perfect. If you're in that group, just that top 8, this is great job being done by the Slovenian. You'd almost say thank you very much after the race.
What's great about this is fair racing. You know, they're going along at a decent pace here, and the athletes that should be there are there. It's great to see 3 Brits up there in that first group. Actually, only 3 people in the race had broken 31 minutes, and those were the 3 British women. Eilish with her run from last year, Megan with her run this year, and Jess Judd, who's had a bit of a rocky start to 2024, also having broken 31 minutes last year.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they will be really pleased that it's not only an honest tempo, and they have got an unofficial pacemaker in effect, but also that it means that there's no pushing and shoving. It can get really tiring, distracting when you're in a big pack and everybody's slow, nobody wants to lead. 9:15 at 3Ks, that's another 3:04. She's doing a majestic job, a quite fantastic job, is Lucan in front here. And she looks all right, doesn't she? I can only imagine she wouldn't be pushing on and leading like this if she didn't feel pretty happy with it. Back to this 10,000, still Lucan leading. Really impressive from her. The 6 are away and together. The 2 Italians, Battocletti and Del Buono, in second and third. They're setting up perfectly, and Battocletti looks very easy when they slide. Do you think she might push on once they get to halfway?
Well, Battocletti must be feeling very confident after her win in the 5,000 on the first night here. And she's had a good few days to recover. She's got decent speed, not as quick as the likes of Eilish McColgan, but still quick on the track over 3,000 metres. And she must be feeling pretty confident in that particular position, because she's being pulled round at a decent pace. They're on 31-minute pace at the moment, which is pretty good.
Yes, it is. That's the massive pack, which is now almost 300 metres behind. Well, that looks like one of the Italians who's dropped out. Anna Arnaldo has dropped out. There are 4 of them in this 10,000 metres. McColgan now just beginning to struggle as they come up, and they've gone through 5,000, by the way. 30 seconds go, half a lap to go in 15:28. So it is sub 31-minute tempo. That third 1,000, that fifth 1,000, excuse me, a 3:07. Staying healthy.
Yeah, Eilish McColgan came into this race with very little racing under her belt in 2024. As you said, Tim, it was last year that she started to have problems with her hamstring, and it looks like she's losing a bit of contact with that lead group of 5, which may just be down to racing sharpness.
He's working very hard to get back with them, but it's not happening at the moment for McColgan. She's in unfamiliar territory now. In her prime, she'd be well capable of sitting in behind this quintet and looking very comfortable. And she is fighting her way back to full fitness, indeed. Well, this massive chasing pack that you can't see, but is about 300 metres behind. There's McColgan back in 6th place, isolated, trying to get back on this pack of 5 that are being led here by Clara Lucan. She's done an amazing job. They're coming up towards 6K, and the kilometre splits, well, the last 4 splits been 3:04, 3:04, 3:06, 3:07. They're still on sub 31-minute tempo. It is really impressive. Megan Keith there at the back of the group behind Van Ez of the Netherlands in that orange top. The 2 Italians almost treading water there, Battocletti.
Lucan's actually pacing herself to what would be a personal best. Oh, that's the sad sight.
McColgan out. That is a real shame. She's given it a good go. She's lasted about 6K, but clearly feeling something. So Battocletti leading. Now we know she's tough. We know she's got a fast finish. She won the 5,000 metres a few nights ago. Very, very impressively did Battocletti. And There she beat Grovdal by 3 seconds, destroying the Norwegian, who went on to win the half-marathon gold 48 hours later. So Battocletti here doesn't really need to lead. I think she's got a pretty strong finish herself, but maybe she's feeling strong. Maybe she wants to push on here and test the others for a couple of laps. Van Aers in second of the Netherlands. Megan Keith in third, and a gap developing now. Battocletti is turning the screw and turning it very impressively. Van Aers in second place. Keith there in third, and these three are away. Gulikas in the background has been lapped. But as I say that, so Battocletti looks like she slowed it down a little bit. Maybe just wanted to test the others.
Well, there's three of them away there, really, I think now, and settled into a nice pace on their own. They've broken away from that pack that originally broke away, the 8 or 9 of them, now down to 3.
She goes through with 6 laps to run. She was Norrentier as a teenager. She's massively talented. She won European and World Youth Championship gold medals. Then started focusing on running a bit more at 16, 17 up in where she lives in Scotland, in Inverness. Carried on mixing it with the orienteering. She's got a great engine. Runs with Inverness Harriers, was a student at Edinburgh University. She's still only 22. And her personal best back on the 16th of March. Well, a little while ago now, almost 3 months ago, ranks her 16th in the world, but she is the European #1, and she's taken this on with real confidence.
This is great to see. Both Battocletti and Megan Keith ran very well in the European cross-country before Christmas, so they've proved their strength there, and they're showing it again now. As you can see, conditions are quite warm out there, and with only 5.5 laps to go, they're really pushing on the pace.
Lucan and Del Buono there in 4th and 5th, having their own little tussle for the best of the non-medalists. Perhaps they're some way back at the moment. As you can see, only about 45 metres down, and maybe Megan Keith took it on because she felt Battocletti was slowing down. But what I think maybe is that Battocletti was setting a trap. She didn't want to lead. She tidied it up a bit, got it down to 3. Van Aers of the Netherlands in 3rd, and then he's back on the throttle, and Megan Keith has gone to the front. And remember, Battocletti winning the 5,000 with a big kick down the home straight.
I think we said before this race it was going to be quite a hard one to call, and you've got 3 great athletes at the front there. It's going to be a very interesting last mile and a bit here in Rome.
Well, 24.51 at 8K, so that was another 3:07. The last 4 kilometres have gone 3:07, 3:09, 3:07, 3:07. And 3:07 tempo per kilometre, well, that is just outside 31 a minute pace. They're still heading something around 31 minutes. There's the big pack that is now being lapped by this leading trio. Van Aers, mind you, has kept very, very quiet, hasn't she? Has just tucked in the whole way and enjoyed the ride.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? There's not much wind out there, so you're not really benefiting too much from any protection from the wind, but you're still in the slipstream of the athletes in front of you. Interestingly, Battocletti's only run 31:06. I say only because this is not too far off her personal best pace either. And as we've said, she's in very good form. So it's going to be interesting to see how these last few laps play out.
Megan Keith goes through with 4 laps to run. And she needs to start digging creep here. Oh, 4:83 is out. And 4:83 is Gulikas, one of the Dutch athletes. I thought she was doing okay, but she had been lapped. Palmero of Italy, excuse me. I'm being tricked by those that lettering. Also running through into 6th place. The Italians with 3 and 6. They're going well. Battocletti in 2nd place, right on the heels of Megan Keith. Van Aers in 3rd. Warner Judd up into 7th place.
That's a good sign from Jess Warner Judd. She's had problems with illness this year, and it's good to see her back at least in that first 8.
Well, she's got to start turning the screw. If Megan Keith doesn't want to be shot down by Battocletti, who could be heading for an incredible double here at these European Championships in front of the home crowd, the young Brit needs to keep pushing on strongly. The last UK gold in this event was Jo Pavey back in 2014 in Zurich, when she stormed to a quite extraordinary win. But last year was a fantastic year for young Megan Keith. She was a great 5,000 metre runner. She won the European Under-23 5,000. She's also a previous winner of the European Under-23 cross-country. That was in December. second she was in that race back in 2022. She's wonderfully consistent. There is Lucan, who led for so long with Del Buono. They're in fourth and fifth at the moment. Don't think there's any chance of them catching this leading trio. But Van Aers, well, I'll tell you what, there's a clue here. She's run 30:29 on the roads last year for 10 kilometres, for 10K. Only 15:07 for 5,000. But she might be a danger here. She's looking pretty comfortable in third place in that orange vest of the Netherlands. And looking for that 9-kilometre split. Megan Keith still looking strong, glancing across there. Battocletti looking comfortable. Neither of them looking really troubled by this running of Megan Keith out in front.
I guess the unknown here is how quick Van Aers is going to be over those last couple of laps. She's got some very good times at 10K on the road and 5K on the track, but there's no indication of how quick she's going to be in these last couple of laps.
Well,
and she's pushing on.
2 laps to go, and Van Aers goes through on the inside. Battocletti on her outside, and she just needs to tuck in behind them now. Del Buono in fourth place, I think, has got away from Lucan. Yes, she has, by about 10 or 15 metres. Now, Megan Keith has got to draw upon her reserves here. She's a great 5,000-metre runner. She's run 14:43, 8:42, 8:52 for 3,000 last year. But we do know that Battocletti is in supreme shape. A fabulous win in the 5,000 with a personal best of 14:35, and she's stretching it out now. And Megan Keith has got to dig deep here with 500 metres to run. Around the top bend for the penultimate time. Battocletti winding it up, and Van Aers, a little glance over her shoulder. I think she's hit the red barrier as the Battocletti eases away, and the crowd, which must be some 15,000 strong in the arena here tonight in the Stadio Olimpico, roaring on Battocletti as she comes through to the bell this time.
She looks really easy, doesn't she? With 1 lap to go, she pushed away there at the 600 mark and has just left Van Aers and Megan Keith behind her.
Well, this is quite magnificent. Battocletti, the Italians have had many great distance runners over the years, and this is their latest find, and what a diamond she is. She's only 24. She's got years of great development to come. She looks relatively easy, striding away in a lovely, relaxed style here. Van Aers in second place. Megan Keith tried to picture in third. Hasn't been able to go with the Dutch athlete, but is almost guaranteed a medal now with 200 to go.
And I think the crowd have taken their eyes off the high jump for a moment or two and are about to cheer Nadia Battocletti in for the last 100 metres. A superb run from her.
Could be 2 Italian golds if we can get one in the high jump as well, or the Italians can. But this is Nadia Battocletti, a winner in the 5,000 metres on the first evening with a big kick. Well, here she's done it from a couple of laps out. It's a double for Italy, over 10,000 metres and 5,000 metres. And Battocletti there, 30:51. Silver for the Netherlands. Van Aers, that is a huge run from her, inside her personal best. And Megan Keith taking the bronze medal there. That's a super time, a national record for Battocletti, the Italian. Wow. And she looked in control the whole time. She's not exactly out on her feet, is she?
Well, I said all the way through that she was placing herself to a personal best, and that's exactly what she's done. Not only a personal best, but a national record, and done in supreme style. She looks in really good shape, and that's got to be another confidence booster ahead of Paris.
Well, it wasn't exactly Inverness weather, was it? There's a great run from Megan Keith to add a bronze medal to the British tally. It's the 9th goal for Italy. They have dominated the medal table from the get-go. Van Aers, a personal best, 30:57. Lovely to get under a little barrier there. 31 minutes is now behind her. And Del Buono, a personal best for her in 4th place. It's the 10th medal for Great Britain, is that bronze for Megan Keith.
And it's so great to see Megan Keith on the international scene at senior level and coming away with a bronze medal today at only 23. What a great future that young lady will have. And Diane Van Aers as well, a personal best and a medal for her. And I think probably a little bit of a surprise to some people, but as you said, Tim, she was very comfortably tucked in behind the others for most of that race.
Well, we knew Vanez was in good shape. She ran her previous personal best, 31.02, that she's just broken by exactly 5 seconds. About a month ago in California. But Megan Keith, her first senior medal. She's got so many age group titles. European under-20 cross-country champion back in 2021. Went out in the heats of the 5,000 in Budapest last year at the World Championships. But that's a delightful sight. And quite deservedly, Nadia Battocletti making a victory lap, holding the Italian colours. Only 16th in Budapest over 5,000 metres last year, but she is coming on. She's a growing force. And that winning time, 30.51, a national record and a personal best by some 15 seconds for Nadia Battocletti. And she was able to smile and celebrate in that lovely languid style of hers long before the line. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from her.
And I think you can see that the conditions were quite tough out there by the number of people that weren't able to finish the race. So superb runs from everyone that finished this evening.
So gold for Italy in the women's 10,000 metres, a double for Nadia Battocletti, ahead of that Dutch silver and British bronze through Megan Keith. Plenty of these athletes absolutely spent out there on the track. Del Buono was fourth. Clara Lucan, for that brave front-running effort, the Slovenian rewarded with 5th place. Her time 31.34, Lucan. She has run a little bit quicker than that. Well, confirmation of gold for Italy yet again in a national record. It couldn't get better for Nadia Battocletti, her second of the week. Diane Vanez, personal best, and Megan Keith, well, a really, really strong run there. She gave it a great go, the Briton, for the bronze, and Federica Del Buono, she hung on for as long as she could. Her reward, a personal best in 4th.